had to do it for my sake, for my future. Make sure you add enough seasoning in the sentences, enough seasoning in your personal statement, the language. Make sure it makes sense. Link it to how it makes you suitable. Start early. If you don't start early, you're going to stress out. Ever since I was born, I wanted to become a doctor. That is a lie, my friend. So you're telling me that you wanted to be a doctor when you just came out of the womb?
He needs some milk.
Hi guys, welcome back to Uniquely There. So today I'm going to do a video on how to write a personal statement. What is a personal statement? A personal statement is a document written by yourself explaining why you would like to study a course, why you are suitable to studying that course, the skills you have which are relevant to doing that course. Is basically explaining why you are the perfect student to studying that course at university. And it has a maximum word count of 47 lines and 4,000 characters. When do I have to write this? You are probably going to write this around the end of year 12 and the beginning of year 13. So if you're planning to go to university, then you probably have to write a personal statement. How do I write a personal statement? Well, I have an answer for you. I'm gonna help you. I'm here to give you some tips which I received from my teachers and probably friends about how to write a personal statement, and also my own experience writing my own personal statement. Firstly, you need to do your research. So you need to go to the university website about that course and read what the course requirements are, any qualities. Like, for example, for law, you're expected to read a lot. So if you like reading, then you know that you probably enjoy law. And also, if you like discussing, you probably enjoy law. So read the website, read the course description. It will probably include like some information of what they expect students studying law to do, so you have an idea of what a perfect candidate will be to study that course. When you're making your research, you have to make sure that the course you are applying for is the course you actually enjoy doing, because if you enjoy doing that course, you're more likely to do well in it, and it will be easier for you to think about things to write in your personal statement rather than just writing something random or something you're not really interested in anyways. That will be very hard for you to do. Moreover, you should jot down your experiences, such as if you attended to different clubs like debate club, or societies like history society or English society or law society, or any clubs you did. Just jot them down on a piece of paper, like roughly write them down. And any leadership positions you had in the past, there may be a student ambassador, head of hall, student council. Write them down in a piece of paper. Once you research all the information and you wrote down the qualities and characteristics they want for students studying a specific course, and also you jot down your ideas, then select the ones that are relevant to the course you are going to study. So let's say you go to music society maybe, and you want to apply to study law, then obviously that's not relevant. So you'd rather include something else more relevant, such as going to the debate club or taking part in a mountain competition or debating, or going to history society or something related to law rather than something unrelated. However, you could include that at the end or somewhere as a hobby, but it's not, unless you can link it to the course you want to do, then go for it. Also, you can include if you attended to any online lectures, if you listen to any podcasts, if you took part in different programs. And this is because it will link better to the course you're applying to, and therefore it will make sense, connecting your arguments. Let's say you went to society, like for debate club. Don't just write "I debated in debate club." You have to link it to how it makes you suitable to study law. For example, you could say, I debated in a debate club, which increased my confidence or communication skills, and I also worked under pressure because people were asking me questions and I was supposed to think fast, think reasonably. If you didn't really gain anything from attending to that club or society or to that program or whatever, if you didn't attain any skills which are relevant to the course you're applying to, then don't add it, because it's just a waste of space. After all, you only have maximum 47 lines or 4,000 characters, and quality over quantity is what matters in the personal statement. Make sure you know what courses you're going to apply for, and remember you're applying for 5 different universities. So let's say you're going to apply for law in University A and you're going to apply for criminology in University B. Don't just talk about law in general, so include some bits about criminology. So basically the personal statement will be suitable for both courses in different universities, because the same personal statement goes to the different 5 university choices that you choose. So make sure you choose wisely and you word your personal statement correctly. Then when you have an idea of what you will write in your personal statement, then just write. Start writing. Start. And now you're thinking, hold on a minute, Beatrice. Starting is not as easy as it seems. I'm here. You're right. How do I start writing my personal statement? Well, there are many ways you can start your personal statement. For example, you can start your personal statement with maybe your ambition or why you like that course, or your experience, or what brought you to, being interested in this course as well, and a little introduction about yourself. Make sure the sentences are not too long, because if it's very long, it may be difficult to understand. Make sure the words you use are not too complex throughout your personal statement. For example, using random words which you never ever heard of in your life, and then you are just pouring them in your personal statement to make you sound more intellectual or to make you sound more intelligent, So it doesn't, just keep it simple but formal. So not too simple, don't use words like this experience was good, full stop. No. Or this experience was nice, or it was nice to see that. Maybe you could do a bit better than that. Or let's say, don't use I want to. Instead of that, you could say I am eager to, I'm excited to, or I am willing to, stuff like that. You can check, normal synonyms, not that crazy, in a website called Thesaurus, which you probably already heard of, maybe. According to my teachers, we shouldn't use the very popular sentences which most students use every single year, which is, for example, ever since I was young, or ever since I was little, or ever since I was born, I wanted to become a doctor. That is a lie, my friend. So you're telling me that you wanted to be a doctor when you were 3 months old, or when you just came out of the womb?
Who said that? Who said
You see how? Keep it realistic. Keep it realistic. Come on. I understand you're trying to persuade them, but it's very overused right now. Okay? Try to make it more unique. Okay? If you're struggling writing an introduction, then just move on to the next thing. I started with the main body, basically the paragraphs in between explaining why I'm suitable for the course, why I would love to study the course, things I have done to prepare myself to study this course, or things that I have done that led me to gaining very useful skills which will be suitable for me when doing this course. You see what I'm trying to say? So yeah, because that is easier to think of, in my opinion. If you feel like you haven't done enough stuff to support your application, then you should do it now. You still have quite a lot of time, so You could, like I did, you could borrow books and read books related to the course, and then later you can write in your personal statement, reading this book, I learned that blah 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 blah. This made me think about blah blah blah, which excited me because blah blah blah. Therefore, I believe that blah, blah, blah. You can, make a paragraph out of that and make sure it's like a relevant book. You can't just read a fictional or fantasy book which is unrelated and then putting it in the personal statement like it's gonna help you. Actually, that's just useless unless it's related to the course. The book I read, which I included in my personal statement, was A Secret Barrister, because I'm applying to do law. So yeah, A Secret Barrister, if you want to study law, you probably heard of this, and it's kind of interesting. So yeah, you could check it out too. Or you could also check Letters to a Law Student, which is a letter to a law student, and it helps you prepare for university. You could also check recommendations online or ask your subject teachers what books do you recommend, podcasts to watch, which could be useful for you, and you could also include in your personal statement, because podcast is still useful. Listening to podcasts related to the course you're applying for, and then just mention it in a personal statement. Let's say you want to do volunteering. Just do it now. Just go to your local charity shop and volunteer. Good for your personal statement, and it's good for your future job because it's work experience anyways. So it's a win-win. 2 birds, 1 stone. So there are many things you could still do if you feel like you don't have enough content to add in your personal statement. If you're going to write in your personal statement that you read a book, make sure that you actually read the book. Because if you have an interview and they ask you, so what do you think about this book? What do you think about this character? They may ask you about the book and why you like it, what happened in the book. And if you're blank, that's it for you. That's it. So make sure you don't lie about it. So if you're going to have an interview, make sure that what you read in your personal statement is honest, is true. Because if they ask you in the interview, you're more likely to perform better if what you said was true and you know it, and rather than made up, because the truth wins. You may be exposed if you start lying, saying I read this book and I read that book, blah 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 blah. No, just keep it simple, keep it real, no care. My advice to you would be start early. If you don't start early, you're going to stress out. You're going to have a lot of stress, okay? I'm telling you this. Follow my advice, or else you'll see what happens if you don't start early. Because you don't want to be struggling to write your personal statement to meet the deadlines. It takes weeks to make sure you're satisfied. Well, that's my opinion, but for me, it took weeks, months. Yeah, to obviously I didn't do it every single day, but it took time to make sure I was fully satisfied. I started writing what I thought straight away. I just started writing from my thoughts, from my mind, what I thought. Obviously I planned. I wrote like introduction, I'm going to talk about this, that. Second paragraph, I'm going to talk about why I love this subject. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this book. I'm going to talk about this podcast. I'm going to talk about that. Third paragraph, I'm going to talk about my A levels, how it links to my course. Fifth subject, I'm going to talk about I went to the debate club. I'm going to talk about I went to History Society, how it links to my course. Fifth paragraph, I'm going to write about volunteering, how it links to my future career aspiration or to my course. And then last paragraph has to link with the introduction, and it has to link everything together. You have to condense. You have to finish it up properly. It's like the bottom part of a sandwich, the bottom part of a burger. You need to finish it. You have to finish it together like a sandwich to make sure the reader, which is the admission officer, enjoys your personal statement. Because you can't enjoy the personal statement without bun. Bun is the introduction, yeah? The salad, the tomatoes, the beef, The source is basically like the language you use. Make sure it's formal but not too crazy, because if you use words such as beguiling, this is very beguiling. Like, do you even know what that means? I just found out because I watched a movie. I don't think every human, knows the whole vocabulary, unless you did the spelling bee stuff, them spelling bee people. Maybe they know what it means. When you're writing it down, keep writing everything you know, then continuously, like each day or each 3 days, read over it and make some changes, like change the wording or the phrase. Like, it sounds very, very rusty, they change it to make it sound a bit spicy. You know what I'm talking about? Like when the sentence doesn't have enough seasoning, it's a bit bland. It's like, that's very interesting. You wanna stop, you wanna spit it out. The admission officer won't want to bite it anymore. In fact, you want to spit you out. So make sure you add enough seasoning in the sentences, enough seasoning in your personal statement, the language. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it connects, it links well, so that the admission officer will bite it and will swallow it. Okay, that's what you want. You want the admission officer to enjoy your personal statement and to say, oh my gosh, this student, I want this person, I want to teach this person. This person is excellent for my course. He's not like a class clown or whatever. This person takes things seriously. He really enjoys the subject. He's gonna do very good. He's perfect for our school. We want you. That's what you want them to think when they read your personal statement. But don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. After all, they know you are 17. They know that you are not university students and stuff. They know. So chill out. They don't expect you to write a university essay. It's like 80% academic about why you're suitable for the course, why you love the course, what you did that makes you suitable for the course, the skills you obtained that make you suitable for the course. And that's like 80% of the personal statement, in my opinion. And 20% is about yourself and your hobbies. Okay, so the main thing you write about is why you are suitable. Basically, why should they pick you out of all the candidates, out of those 4,000 candidates? Why should you be part of the 100 that are going to be accepted? Why? You're fighting with other people, that want what you want. So don't be lazy. Think about it. You just say you already finished your first draft and you gave it to your teacher to check. The teacher gives you feedback, so you work on that feedback and you change it and you give it to the teacher. Then the teacher says, oh, that's perfect. You can send it off. Then don't just send it off and trust that teacher. You know why? Because teachers also make mistakes. For example, it happened to me. A teacher read it and it was like perfect. It was already very good. And then it took me like maybe 3 or 4 times to like notice a mistake, because I read stuff over and over and over again. I wasn't expecting to see a mistake. I was just reading it, because I wanted to read it before I sent it off, and obviously that took a lot of time. I didn't really like reading the same thing over and over again, but I had to do it for my sake, for my future. So I noticed a mistake which my teacher wasn't able to catch, because after all, they have a lot of classes. He's probably going to receive all the law personal statements from her classes, and she has to read each of them like 2 times. So read it over again and again and again. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, maybe 4. Okay, or 5, because you may find out that there's a mistake in your personal statement the 5th time or the 6th time you read it before submitting it. Because you don't want the admission officer or the admission person to find out about your mistake instead of you. How does that make you look?
You're not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
No attention to detail? That's not what you want. So make sure it's written properly. And also, do not stress yourself that much with this JUCA stuff. To make sure you don't stress out that much, just start all this process early, and don't expect your teachers to tell you all the information about all these JUCAs, all the applications and everything you need to do, because there are some additional things you need to take, such as like the LNAT or the BMAT or the UCAT, like some additional tests you need to do for different courses. For example, if you want to do medicine, you may have to do the BMAT and the UCAT, and if you want to do law in certain universities, you have to do the LNAT. Yeah. Find it out if you don't know what it means, okay? Because I found out about this by myself. The teachers didn't tell me. And make sure that your personal statement is unique. Don't try to copy others' personal statement or your sisters from last year, because I believe that they keep all of them for a certain period of time, and they can, check if it's copied. I don't know the word. They can check if you copied it from someone else or from a different website or someone. You can't finesse the system. They will catch you, and if you got caught, I don't know what happens. So don't copy others. Don't copy others, because it can affect you and you won't like it. That's it from me. Hopefully you found this advice helpful and my experience helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it to your friends and family. Do not forget to subscribe, and also turn on the post notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. Thank you for watching. Bye. Good luck on your personal statement.